Take a deep breath, Patriot. Today in Foxboro came with signals that change the mood, the hierarchy, and the season's blueprint. A defensive pillar is wobbling, a quiet reinforcement just arrived, a once-overlooked receiver is exploding on the field, and a ringing phone in the market could reshape the WR room. Nothing's official, but the clues are everywhere, and each detail tugs another thread of suspense. What would you do if one decision shook the locker room, the cap, and the future? You won't believe what we've got today, so sit down, drop a like, and let's dive straight into the hot news. In Foxboro, a whisper became a siren. Two veterans, symbols of toughness and loyalty, have hit the market radar. This isn't late preseason gossip. It's a calculated move that rattles the locker room and splits the fan base. Start with the context. A new defensive philosophy under Mike Vrabel and Terrell Williams. Faster rotations, more sub-packages, a bare-knuckle fight for every snap. In that ring, status guarantees nothing. The practices told a quiet story. Packages adjusted, roles redefined, and precious snaps handed to whoever stacked more consistent tape. When the social clock explodes online, it's because someone important slid down the depth chart. The question that pounded all day: who pays the price of a cultural pivot? Here are the names: Kyle Duggar and Anfernee Jennings. Duggar, one of the secondary's most versatile playmakers, signed a 4-year extension last offseason. He returned from an ankle issue, opened camp with the starters, and then watched the tide turn. He dropped out of 3 safety looks, slid to scout team reps, and against the Vikings logged snaps deep into the fourth quarter, 45 in total, a team high. The twist: he ended the game with the walk-off interception. The clip went viral, but the usage spoke louder. No reserved seats. Jennings took a different path. He blossomed late, became a run-stopping reference point, stacked 30 starts across 2023 and 2024, and secured a new deal. Then the OLB room changed faces. Harold Landry and Clavon Chason arrived. Rookies Braden Swinson and Elijah Ponder entered the chat, and the competition got ruthless. Even so, versus Minnesota, No. 33 fired back with 3 sacks, and the physical signature fans know well. On the whiteboard, this potential move has 3 layers. First, culture. Vrabel and Williams demand multiplicity and error-free execution. Hierarchy is earned weekly now. Second, roster construction. Listening on veterans creates cap flexibility and opens development snaps, balancing depth and pop. Third, messaging. If you win practice, you play, period. Online, the fan base split. Some see a chance to sell high and accelerate a defensive refresh. Others fear losing live on-field communication, especially versus play action and RPOs. Meanwhile, the clock's ticking. Thursday brings the Giants at MetLife, and Tuesday's cut from 91 to 53 decides fates. One well-timed call could become a future pick and reframe the rotation. If it doesn't, August will still decide careers, roles, and maybe the tone of week 1. Important: taking calls doesn't mean a talent fire sale. The staff made a point to note both fit the new defense. They play hard, play physical, and they're competing like everyone else. The difference is, with added depth and cut-down week looming, every snap is an audit. If the right package appears, pick, salary, and plan, there's a crack in the door. If not, there's space to reclaim ground through tape and special teams. And that wasn't even the day's most surprising note, because there's a reinforcement arriving to shake the heart of the line. In Foxboro, the roster spreadsheet added a new line, and the interior defensive line felt the jolt. Philip Bleedy, an undrafted rookie who spent time with the Titans after Auburn, signed with the Patriots. At first glance, it's just another August body. But hold up. Solid college production. 91 tackles, 11.5 sacks, plus length, a relentless motor, and hand usage to win inside. And he drops into a packed room. Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, Kairis Tonga, Joshua Farmer, Jeremiah Farms Jr., Javeri Ritzy, David Olajiga, and Kyle Peko. With that depth, every rep becomes a final exam. To make room, Jeremy Robinson was waived. Earlier, the team also ended the Trey Avery stint and added running back Micah Bernard. Translation: Vrabel in the front office tweaked 3 rooms at once, calibrating depth and specialties. The message is crystal. The staff wants answers now, before Tuesday's 91 to 53 cut and the preseason finale against the Giants in East Rutherford. One well-executed sequence on Thursday could seal jobs. What does Bleedy bring? Long levers, active hands, and a first step that pops in stunts and interior games. In the 2025 sketch, that's gold in pass packages, with Barmore commanding doubles and Milton Williams slicing as a 3-tech. Against the run, Tonga anchors the middle. Bleedy can be the lateral ripper, attacking the outside shoulder of the guard to funnel cuts into traffic. It sounds small, but it's the micro adjustment that turns 2nd and 5 into 3rd and 8. He's also a candidate for field goal block, thanks to his length and trigger. Fans are already asking 3 questions. First, can you carry 5 or 6 DTs on the 53? Depends on how much Vrabel wants to toggle odd and even fronts, and how valuable the hybrid edges are to lock down base and nickel. Second, is Bleedy one of the 46 game day actives or a practice squad project? The cheap deal helps, but the next few days of tape decide. Third, is his arrival a message to those on the rotation bubble? Farmer, Ritzy, Pecco, that the bar just rose, and August snaps are tickets on the Week 1 plane. There's a domino effect. By moving on from Robinson, the staff signals confidence in interior pressure and in OLBs who can compress the pocket without constant blitzing. By parting with Avery and adding Bernard, the RB room balances with a protector who can catch and help on punt. That frees McDaniels to layer play action and screens because defenses must respect the checkdown. If the interior stabilizes, the secondary breathes, even with corner depth still in flux. Thursday's plan: heavy rotation in the first 2 quarters to test Bleedy versus the run, focused pass rush packages in the third, and a clean snapshot for Tuesday's cut. If he shows consistent penetration, he becomes a cheap moldable piece for 17 games. If he's up and down, practice squad, emphasis on strength, hands, and protection ID. And that still wasn't the wildest part, because what's next is even more unbelievable. A once doubted target might be turning into a rapid-fire offensive solution. You know when a room's energy shifts, and you can feel something new taking shape? That's what's happening with the receivers in Foxboro. After a rough 2024, the front office attacked the need head-on. Stefon Diggs to command coverages and create gravity, Mac Hollins to restore perimeter physicality, and rookie Kyle Williams to inject burst between zones. In the middle of that rebuild, a UDFA turned into a summer steal. Efton Chisholm, savvy versus zone, twitchy in motion, reliable on the short tree. Not everything is a straight line. The hope was that second-year pass catchers Javon Baker and Jalen Polk would climb a rung, but the curve still asks for patience. And right there, a familiar name shows up with a new edge: Kayshon Boutte. After 43 catches, 589 yards, and 3 TDs in 2024, he arrived at camp lighter, more explosive, and most of all, more consistent. Day after day, he stacks contested grabs, slices angles aggressively, and shows chemistry with May on option reads. The buzz crossed the field, beyond the fans, the staff itself. GM Elliott Wolf at the front praised number 80's evolution and the way he oils the offense. Why does that change the board? Because the scheme gains layers. Diggs dominates as the X and manipulates the post safety. Demario Douglas serves as a space player inside and nearly threatens WR1 volume. Hollins gives the big body for 3rd and short and red zone. Chisholm is a Swiss Army knife in stacks and orbit motion. Butte is the safety link between all of it. Choice routes reading leverage, boundary outs to buy the QB time, Diggs in the linebacker window, and that spatial feel that powers McDaniels' play action. When the pocket tightens, a young quarterback's confidence spikes if he sees a target winning to the spot on schedule. The roster math, though, is unforgiving. If Butte wins the battle, someone loses snaps, and maybe a chair on the 53. That lights up the online debate. Do you ride present tense chemistry, even if higher pedigree names slide back? Meritocracy says yes. Upside hunters want more time. The impact on May is immediate. A target who separates early on early downs, protects a line still searching for cohesion, trims long 3rd downs, and keeps the script on schedule. On tough nights, 8 yards on 2nd and 7 is pure gold. The technical tell that jumps out: Boutte's 2025 version is more violent off the line and more disciplined at the top of routes, hiding his break cues. Small windows turn into chain-moving receptions, and that wears defenses out in the 4th. Add a creative coordinator and a WR1 who draws doubles, and you've got a receiver ready to surprise beyond August's buzz. If he sustains that standard to Week 1, starter stops being a dream and becomes a tool. And while we're amped about that jump, hold your breath. A market opening could rearrange this same WR room before kickoff. In the AFC East chess match, off-field moves can be as decisive as a 3rd down strike. And here comes a rare opening. The Vikings are reportedly willing to listen on wide receivers. What does that mean for New England? A clear chance to use the market as leverage to fix the most crowded room on the roster. Today, Diggs is the anchor, Douglas flirts with star status, Hollins fills the physical role, and Kyle Williams brings rookie juice. But there are more names than snaps, and that surplus can become currency. The natural candidate, Kendrick Bourne, productive in big moments, beloved by fans, but carrying a weighty contract and limited runway in the new rotation. If Minnesota Minnesota, seeing itself as a contender, wants an instant contributor. Bourne becomes a clean trade piece. From the Patriots side, the deal has a double effect: financial relief and a draft pick. One call, two boxes checked. Picture it. Bourne to the NFC, New England clearing cap, opening space for youth, and locking in a trusted trio around Drake May. For the QB, that means clearer chemistry, cleaner snap distribution, less indecision on the first read. For the staff, it's simplification, fewer mouths to feed, more focus on developing priority weapons. Fans attached to Bourne will understandably hate losing a locker room favorite. But remember, this is the franchise that hired Vrabel to make tough calls with January in mind. Strategically, a trade doubles down on the message: nobody's safe. If veterans like Duggar and Jennings already watched the door crack open, Bourne could be next, serving the future while solving a present logjam. The timing is perfect. Tuesday's mandatory 91-53 cut, then a straight runway into the season. Clarity time. Moving now doesn't just solve an internal riddle, it tells the league New England is active and willing to shuffle the deck until the gears mesh. Practically, a cleaner WR room helps McDaniels center on 4 or 5 key targets, design packages without sabotaging chemistry, and give May quality reps over chaotic volume. The psychological gain matters too. Less uncertainty inside, stronger offensive identity. And for anyone dreaming of a playoff push, these quiet August adjustments are the fuel for December. Rivals may shrug, but a tuned roster off the radar often stings hardest when the fight heats up. In a season that feels like a hinge point, every backroom play can be the difference between middling and rebirth. Breathe, Patriot. The day ended with the team's identity on trial, and the future more alive than ever. The potential exits of Duggar and Jennings underline Vrabel's cultural bar. Philip Blighty's arrival cranks up the interior competition and frees McDaniels to get more aggressive. Keyshawn Boot reignited hope for sustained passing game efficiency, and the Vikings' market window could restructure the WR room, clarify roles, and give Drake May a cleaner lanes to grow. Now it's on you. Sell veterans, bet on internal growth, or swing a trade. Sound off in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and let's talk.